After witnessing the Greens struggle for a foothold during the demise of Viserys and this power vacuum last episode, we now see the Blacks take center stage in this momentous thrust towards warfare. We open with this touching moment between Rhaenyra and Luke, setting up the tragedy to shortly come. He's apprehensive about being the Lord of Driftmark, but Rhaenyra comforts him by exposing her insecurities and shortcomings. It was a nice little character moment, and it just shows you how to make you emotionally invested in a character before, well, you know, we're not quite there yet.
Not like you.
In what way, sweet boy?
Not so perfect.
I am anything but.
The tone immediately shifts from sweet to suspenseful as Rhaenys arrives and just unloads all these coming woes on the Blacks. Rhaenyra immediately starts to go into premature contractions, and these suspenseful strings just swirl this pace into a interesting and immersive momentum. It's all so very quick and exciting.
The Greens are coming for you, Rhaenyra. And for your children. You should leave Dragonstone at once.
Daemon plots his coming war. Rhaenyra has a terribly painful birthing sequence, and Jace and Luke are pulled into action. We get all these moments intercut on top of each other. Suspense and the editing was brilliant. We see Rhaenyra's dragon reacting to her as she gives birth to this horribly deformed baby. Everything that we've been waiting for 9 hours is now paying off, and it's so suspenseful and immersive and brutal and dark and heartbreaking. Thank you, Game of Thrones.
Or, if you support usurper, speak it now.
Seeing Rhaenyra hold the body of her deformed child lifeless in her hands was so brutal and shocking and moving. Art should emotionally move you. It shouldn't just null you into some dumb fucking comfort. That's what podcasts are for. I don't want to fucking sit dead-eyed staring into the Big Bang Theory. I want to watch something that emotionally moves me, that shocks me, that makes me squirm, that makes me feel uncomfortable. And this was all of that. This doesn't pull any punches. This is drama at the highest caliber. It's not trying to please everyone. In fact, there are moments where it's trying to push people over the edge of comfort and entertainment into shock and disgust and sadness. Shot in this stunning real location, we get this beautiful funeral sequence that slowly morphs into Rhaenyra's coronation. Eric, with either an A or an E, comes with Viserys' crown, and these haunting gospel-esque voices set the tone for this suspenseful and epic and slow, beautiful sequence. The cinematography, the camera movements, the editing, the real sets, the narrative thrust here, it's all A+. They have this war table here at Dragonstone, which is somewhat magical in properties. They push lights underneath it and it all just lights up. This was not in the book at all, but it just shows a deeper understanding of how television works. It's primarily a visual medium, and this room and this table are going to have a very large part to play over the next 3 or so seasons. So to have it light up here and have all the names be obvious just makes it so much more understandable for an audience to look on the map and understand what's happening and where it's happening and the consequences of it all. mirroring the sequence from episode 2, using max intimidation. Rhaenyra, now queen, rocks up on this big long stone bridge entering Dragonstone and confronts Otto. It's all incredibly tense. Daemon just wants his head and is almost at him, calling his men to arms, but Rhaenyra de-escalates the entire situation because of Alicent's token set up in episode 1. This is just basic writing, setup and payoff, but it's just the time and effort put into the setup and payoff moments, and this character development just makes it more immersive.
I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and cups. For your drunken usurper cunt of a king.
Yeah, Daemon, you tell him! Much like Alicent, her childhood friend, Rhaenyra amongst the Blacks is a voice of reason. She doesn't want to just get on all of their dragons and fly to King's Landing, Daenerys style, and burn the whole thing and then reign over ash and bone. And she wants to feel out the landscape and understand what's happening before she just rushes into vengeance and bloodshed, to Daemon's chagrin, I might add.
When dragons flew to war, everything burned. I do not wish to rule over a kingdom of ash and bone.
While revealing the Song of Fire and Ice prophecy to Daemon, we get the most controversial moment of this episode. Daemon, one of our main characters, brutally and disgustingly chokes Rhaenyra, our main character, in this violent and dark moment. It wasn't in the book, and I have to tell you, I absolutely loved it. I wanted to go darker. No. It was a good moment. I had nothing wrong with it. I don't think these characters need to be good. I think all of them can be despicable, disgusting, evil, twisted characters, or at least have moments like that and have moments of light and goodness and virtue. You know, they're humans. That's the story they're telling. And I would like Daemon to go darker. I honestly love Daemon. I want to see him just push the threshold of how much it'll take for the audience to turn against him. I don't think this moment did it, but they could get there. They just need to make Daemon make Tony Soprano seem like Homer Simpson. Come on, Matt Smith. Come on, Ryan Condal. Come on, HBO.
My brother was a slave to his omens and portents. Anything to make his feckless reign appear to have purpose.
The sea snake, now recovered, has this moment with Rhaenys, and he says that he was wrong in his blind ambitions and he didn't spend enough time with her, and reneges on all the stuff that he's said before and says he wants to just go and have a little quiet retirement with his wife. But fucking, she's like, it's too late for that now. Our grandson's heads are about to get cut off and you need to step in. So we get this great moment where he announces his allegiance for the queen, and it was moving. I don't know, it just got me hyped. I'm like, fuck yeah. She's got the narrow sea blockaded. They can block off any food that comes through there. She actually kind of has a good foothold in this war, and seeing all these moments, see Daemon talk about the dragons, see the sea snake talk about all his fleet and the blockade, it just gets me pumped. It gets me pumped for season 2. Where is season 2? I need season 2! Come on, HBO. No. Just take your time and have it of this quality again. I can wait. I'll watch Game of Thrones in the meantime.
You have the full support of our fleet and house. Your Grace.
After another heart-filled moment between Rhaenyra and Luke, character development often means incoming death. After that moment, we get this serene and ethereal moment of Daemon singing to Vermithor, the second largest dragon currently alive. He's trying to swoon the dragon by singing it a love song. It's all lit by one light source and it's bathed in brutal beauty. Vermithor breathes fire, and it just, the stark contrast between that hard black shadow and that bright orange light is just beautiful and brutal, and I can't wait to see what happens between Daemon and this dragon. Luke, now at Storm's End, approaches Castle Baratheon, and we get this spine-tingling reveal of Aemon's dragon here. The first time I seen it, I got goosebumps. It was just the greatest, like, shock shot of all time. Not the greatest shock shot of all time. It was a good shot. And just when they reveal it, you're like, oh no. I know who owns that dragon. He knows who owns that dragon. You cut his eye out. Time to go, Luke. Time to go. I know in retrospect that's obviously what you should do, but the first time I watched it, when I seen that dragon, and I'm sure 90% of everyone else were just like, time to go, kid. Don't worry about the message. Just leave the message right there and fly home safe. But alas. In an incredibly tense sequence, Luke gives the Queen's message to Lord Baratheon, whatever the fuck his name is, and he's like, yeah, nah, get going. Just as he leaves, Aemon flexes at him, revealing his empty eye socket stuffed with a sapphire, and demands that Luke gives him an eye for an eye. Luke is obviously like, no. And then Aemon rushes him, and just before the moment erupts into violence, old mate Baratheon is like, yeah, no, not in my house. He's a messenger. You can't do this here. This will have poor consequences upon me and my name. You can just feel this disaster just on the cusp of transpiring, and it just has you on the edge of your seat the entire time. I knew there was an event that made the Dance of the Dragons happen. I just didn't know what it was, and you know that this episode's going to end on it, and you just, every sequence, every suspenseful sequence waiting for it to transpire.
I want you to put out your eye. It's payment for mine.
Realized beautifully with both practical and digital effects. We get this horror-esque sequence of Vhagar stalking Luke, that shot of the dragon over that little tiny dragon was so haunting, and then Aemon begins to taunt Luke, swooping on him and snapping at him. It was all so dark and twisted and tense. I was on the edge of my seat. And then when Arax breathes fire on Vhagar and flies off, and we get Aemon just begging his dragon to serve him, it was just haunting. Bang, hard cut to clear blue sky, the suspenseful strings are gone, no more horror aesthetic. He's made it out, it's all well and good. No. Crunch. This catalyst to start the Dance of Dragons has now happened, and it wasn't unexpected, but it was still somewhat shocking. It was incredibly satisfying, it was brutal, it was sad, it was great. It was truly a great moment in television. I mean, how can you not be on board after seeing this? What a ending, what a moment, what a build up, just to set up all these characters in this incredibly complex political machinations, just all simmering, then to have this one catalyst and have it all kick off. It was sad, brutal, shocking, amazing. It was everything. The final shot of this episode, of this season, just showcases the immensely high quality of cinematography, of acting, of writing. Emma Darcy, without any dialogue, just acts through shock, through sadness, through realization, through acceptance, through anger, through vengeance, through determination. This face, that actress, that writing, this show, what a fucking ending, man. We didn't have you fucking standing up from the couch going, no, give me more, I need more right now. Then I don't know what show would. Maybe the ending of The Sopranos. There was no more. Actually, there was a prequel movie. It wasn't bad. Here's my review. Somewhere. In conclusion, I said in my first review that entering back into a world of ice and fire, of a Game of Thrones, kind of felt like a battered housewife entering back into an abusive relationship and expecting something different. I didn't have high hopes for this season. I loved Game of Thrones so much, and I loved A Song of Fire and Ice books so much, and it hurt all the more when the show shit the bed tremendously. But I tried to enter into this with an open mind and give it a fair chance, and fuck man, I did, and it was beautiful. It's the best show I've seen for a while. I mean, it's up there with The Sopranos, with Boardwalk Empire, with Mad Men, with Better Call Saul, with Breaking Bad, with early Game of Thrones. I mean, it's just a high quality piece of drama, which is so fascinating because of this fantasy world. I could sit here and suck House of the Dragon's dick for another half an hour, but I'm not going to. I think you guys know what I think of it. I think you know what you think of it. It was good, yeah. Thank you all for watching. It'd really help out if you could like, subscribe, and in the comments tell me how I got all the facts wrong and how my opinion is null and void. Thank you, and good night. I'll see you cunts next year.